We're going to go ahead and get started with Miko. This is Miko is the executive director of the Pick 42 Foundation. If it's okay, Miko, I'm going to read your bio for a quick minute to introduce each of you. We didn't quite do that. So Miko Pickett is the executive director of Pick 42 Foundation, where she works to meet the needs of community members dealing with food insecurity, overlooked farmers of color, assisting with disaster recovery, and other community-focused programs. In 2019, Miko retired from a successful 30-year career in corporate America to fully embrace her work in the community. She currently serves as a vice chair on the South Carolina Food Policy Council Board of Directors. Miko loves her family and has been married to her husband, Dominic Pickett, senior for 34 years. They have 4 children, 2 daughter-in-laws, and 3 grandchildren. She and her husband also run a few small businesses. She enjoys Southern living, traveling, line dancing, and music. I'm going to let Miko do her own little intro here, but I just have to say I admire anyone with this kind of signature line. I'm doing this many things in a community all at one time, playing so many good leadership roles. So Miko, thank you so much. I'm going to leave your slides for you. So just let me know when to go next, but I'm going to let you get started here.
It's going great. Sure. Awesome. I say, hey, look, enough about me. I thank you all again for the opportunity to be here and to present the work that we're doing in Pick 42 Foundation. I love the questions in terms of how we got started, but one thing I did notice is that there's another dancer in the room. So to that dancer, I want to say, hey, I love line dancing. And and you're right, Danielle, a lot of us, especially women, we wear a lot of hats. But the one thing that I believe wholeheartedly in is work hard and play hard. So you go to the next slide.
Oops, sorry. There we go.
So I'm going to talk to you today about Marion County, South Carolina. That's the community that I serve and the community that I live in, right? And I'm a Jersey girl born and raised, and I'm down here by transplant, and I love it. It's actually South Carolina is the 4th state that I've lived in, and it is the state that the people are the most resilient, the most awesome people, the hardest working people, and I think that's why our nonprofit, why we work so hard, because it's not just us. The tagline of our organization is neighbors helping neighbors, and that's really what it's about. So earlier today, when Danielle asked me, what brought you here? And I mean, honestly, it was the storm. So what you're looking at is a picture of our community. So on the South Carolina, you can see that little red in there. That's 489 square miles where only 31,000 people live. So, I kind of conversed that. I looked that up from where I grew up. I grew up in a town that was 3.4 square miles and 17,000 people lived there. So, this is our whole county, right? So it's very broad. It's very beautiful. Our whole state is an agricultural state. Although there's some interesting facts about the fact that we're an agriculture state, but we import most of our food. Figure that one out. So our community itself is made up of about 56% African Americans, 39% white, and a little bit over 1% other. So it's a majority minority community. And the poverty rate in our community is 24%. So if you think about not just Hurricane Matthew that hit our community in 2016, Hurricane Florence hit our community in 2018, and then COVID in 2020. So my husband and I had started Pick 42 Foundation when we lived in Charlotte. We were in Charlotte for 15 years. And the hurricanes, moving us down here really, truly started our activism, So throughout these next slides, you may hear me say some things about Marion County that may come off as negative, but please know we are resilient. Marion County is resilient. Her people are resilient. We struggle. Some people struggle with poverty, and some people don't, right? But the bottom line is, what I love about where I live is that what happens to one happens to all. So you see this fireman rescuing 2 little children, people ended up taking in neighbors, taking in friends. And here we are in 2022, and people are still displaced from the storm. Next slide. So I'm going to take you through some of the programs that Pick 42 Foundation, Neighbor Helping Neighbors, what we do. And when I say we, it's more than just the board of directors and the staff and employees of Pick 42. It really is community, right? And so we live and die by donations, right? Donations come into us, be it food donations or monetary donations, and that's how we survive, and we're able to provide services to the community. However, I'm going to tell you guys what means the most to us is when a neighbor comes and knocks on my front door and they have a $1 bill, a $2 bill, $2 or $5, and they say they want to make a donation to Pick 42 Foundation. That money drives us more than any large donation. We appreciate the large donations, don't get me wrong, but it really is about community. So this slide kind of depicts for you some of our programs around food insecurity, fighting food insecurity. We have a mobile food pantry in which we work with our local food bank, Harvest Hope, and every week we pick up a box truck full of groceries, and we deliver it to up to 9 different partner churches and nonprofits. And then they deliver the food to people in their communities, right? So it's not like Pick 42 Foundation, we couldn't hit all the county alone, but through our partners through the churches and through the different nonprofit organizations, they know where people are that need food. And so you can see our little box trucks there and one of our volunteers. We also started the Marion County Food Policy Council. And the Food Policy Council is where we gather like-minded folks so that we can get together and talk about food issues as it relates to our county. So restaurateurs, farmers, interested community members, people in nonprofits, and we're looking to set policy for food in our county, and also to feed that policy up to the South Carolina Food Policy Council, on which I sit as vice chair on the board of directors. So some programs that came out of our Food Policy Council is our Reimagine Gardens program. We have started our first community garden. So excited about that. And you can see that young man up in one of the pictures planting a tomato there. You know, we involve the youth. We work in partnerships with the school, Clemson University Extension Program, and the City of Mullins are partners with our Reimagine Gardens program. And we are looking to expand from 1 garden to 5 gardens starting in September of this year. And one of those gardens is going to be an edible forest. Every week, as the food is being harvested from the gardens, from our personal community garden, as well as other people's garden, as well as abundance of food that a farmer may have left over, we do a weekly community garden food share. So if you're looking at the bottom right-hand corner, the lady there, she is shopping for free from the food share. And it's wonderful. Like our food share, when the community comes out, we're out there exchanging recipes, talking about what they're going to do with this amazing fresh food. And people only take what they can use. And that's another thing that we love, because Pick 42 Foundation is not, a big corporation. It's the community owns it, and we want to make sure the community know that they own it. To date, we have served over 5,000 families, and that represents 13,000 community members. Next slide. So when in 2020, COVID was also a disaster, a federally declared disaster. And one of the things that happens in rural communities is a lot of times we don't get access to resources. We don't get access to vaccines. Information may move through our communication, through our community even slower. So what we've done is, in collaboration with 9 other nonprofits, we established the We Care Coalition. And the purpose of the We Care Coalition is to do COVID-19 outreach and to help our community have better health outcomes. I can give you a whole lot of more statistics on the health status of our community, and that's for another day. But to date, we have vaccinated over 700 community members. We ran 18 what we call We Care Coalition clinics, where folks come to receive their vaccinations, first shot, second shot, first booster, second boosters. We work in partnership not only with the 9 nonprofits that are on the coalition, but also with agencies. So we have ran our Department of Health. They are with us. They have run vendor clinics for us on Saturdays at other community events that we had, such as Juneteenth. Matter of fact, if you're looking at that van, that was our Department of Health coming to our Juneteenth celebration. And so in our rural community, the connectiveness expands beyond just the people and the nonprofits. It's also our agencies. And so I'm very happy about that. Next slide. So the 2021 annual toy drive, I'm gonna try to be really quick. So the toy drive is really what made Pick 42 Foundation. Way back when we were in Charlotte, Christmas just meant so much to my family personally. And my husband was a basketball coach at our church. And after the Christmas was over, he thought, if you're the coach, you're also the ride. So he went and he was picking up the kids, and I'm asking him, how was your Christmas? How was your Christmas? And they told us Christmas was just another day. So we set out to make sure that as long as we can, that Christmas would mean something to children where we live. So when we moved to Marion County in 2016, we also moved the toy drive to Marion County in 2016. And you can see on the right-hand side, those are the volunteers. It took 57 volunteers, and that's just for the one-day event. That's not counting all the volunteers that helped us leading up to that event. And the one thing that we wanted to do is we want to give, because it's neighbors helping neighbors and the community coming out helping the community, we wanted to make sure that the neighbors felt like they were shopping. The same with dignity, right? Not that a child just ends up getting a toy from a charity. We provide wrapping paper, and before COVID, we said gift wrap, cookies, Christmas music, the whole 9 yards. We love it. And there's volunteers that cannot wait for our annual toy drive. Next and final slide, please. So I have shared a lot with you about just some of the programs that we run with Pick 42 Foundation. We also have a celebration of voting that we do and an annual Juneteenth celebration that we do. But really, the heart and the strength of our nonprofit are the volunteers. We have had to date 508 registered volunteers and numerous more that I cannot even tell you, because they just show up and get to work, right? And some people's like, oh, I don't want to pre-register, but I'm gonna come and help. Or, and so that warms our heart, because Pick 42 Foundation is a community organization. And when it comes time to get the word out about events, we have this connectiveness, and people feel like they own it, which is just absolutely amazing. So this is my last slide, and you can see our wonderful volunteers over the years at different events. And I'll be happy during the question and answer period to take any questions from you guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Miko. We're really excited about today's webinar because Miko is focused on community and connectedness in community. And then we'll move to, a state effort around IT and then to research. But it really relates, your work really relates, I think, Miko, to what I think a lot of us experience and we have at our work at Visible Network Labs, which is that we know people prefer to rely on their informal supports before we go to other systems resources. And so having those informal supports in terms of neighbors and community members helping each other is really an amazing way to organize around helping people build up that connectedness. So thanks so much.